Hello, everybody. My name is Ed. I'm in my armchair, and the smoking lamp is lit. And guess what I'm smoking today? Been waiting for this for a while. Stanwell Flame Grain, Sixten Ivarsson, designed 54. It is Beauteous Megamus Maximus. I love it, and I'm thrilled to have it because I just found it finally. It's one of the, I don't know how rare it is, but it is a pipe that I have not found out there. So finally got it, and love it. But let me explain. I knew I ordered this pipe, knew it was coming in, came from Austria, so it might take a while. And the last 3 videos have been about Sixten Ivarsson, my collecting his designs. And I've given you some more just information, plateaus for freehand pipes, the flame grain, just stuff about the things that he did, which is, he's called the godfather of pipe makers for a reason. And so I'm going to explain a little bit more about grain and what this comes to. So last time we mentioned about flame grain, plateaus, and how you get flame grain from it. But a little better explanation, something I'd seen before. And let me tell you a story. Over 50 years ago now, I was in the Navy, and I met a guy who was a student, and his brother owned a tobacco shop in Ala Moana Shopping Center in Honolulu, in case you've been there. So I went in to his shop one day, bought a pipe, my GBD, and while there, he was just explaining about pipe, because I really was kind of new at it. That was only my 4th pipe. And it was the first time I've ever actually been to a tobacconist, somebody that knew what they were doing, to talking about stuff. And he was explaining how flame grain, or grain is coming up, is what you want out of a briar. That's your best way to have the same bit of briar, if it can be in the flame grain, that actually smoke cooler. And it seems that lately, not too many people make a big thing of that, but I'll explain. Now I got my visual aids. Hold on. Straws. Imagine this is the drain, the grain of a pipe. Okay, it's going up. If it was this way, it would be cross grain, and you'd have bird's eye, possibly on either side of it. Sometimes you have a kind of a cross. But if you can imagine this being the grain, this would be the top of that. And this would come out to be bird's eye. And believe me, bird's eye can be beautiful. You've seen a lot of pipes. Check out London Calling Simon, because his staining of the pipes really brings out the grain. And when he has one that has a great bird's eye, maybe on the side or on the top, you can really see it. And he has some that are just gorgeous, and others are 2-star pipes. But sometimes there are the 3 and the 4. I got a few. But bird's eye can be beautiful too. But the flame grain is this grain, up like this. And it was more, I hate to say it, it is more mentioned when I was younger, started smoking, about how this flame grain was the ideal. This would actually get us a warmer or cooler smoke, because one of the things you don't realize, okay, you've got the grain, but you've got stuff inside between that. So that's how you see the 2 things in the grain. But those are both different consistencies. And so with that, if you can have it straight up, the heat will go uniformly up out of your tobacco. It'll warm your bowl throughout it. Trying to get this in the middle, but imagine the bowl and going out. Believe me, and I've been smoking for a long time, I don't necessarily know if I can tell the difference. But I look for this simply because that's what I've always known. And I was hearing about it more 50 years ago, 40 years ago. Nobody mentions anymore that the grain actually has 2 consistencies, maybe, but they're different. And so there is something that can go into that bowl that will be different. The pipe that I have, again, 54, but if you watched and paid attention, took notes, last week I had 3 pipes that were all pretty much like this. But they had the plateaus. They were freehands. Remember the plateau up on the top of them, all 3. This is almost the same type of pipe, but this will be the straight. So the bird's eye, which I'm sure you cannot see, goes along the top here. With the plateaus, you pretty well always knew that you had that flame grain below it. So think about that. To me, the flame grain is just simply the most beautiful. If I have a choice, yes. But also, if you have a choice, a lot of times that's a little bit more expensive. So I certainly have an awful lot of pipes. That grain is all over the place. The bird's eye stuff, beautiful. But as I said, because of the way I was introduced to pipes, good pipes, that is something I've always remembered. always looked for, but like my Stanwell collection, I do have a fair amount of straight grain in that, but beggars can't be choosers. As soon as I find a, design that fits my collection, well, I'll buy it. And in a few cases, I doubled up on the Stanwell designs because after I got one, a little later, I saw the same design, but better. Has the flame grain. A couple of them like that. So I have two. Sixten Ivarsson's number 11, which is, I heard at one time, just recently, that is the most popular design in Europe. Number 11. So I have that like 4 different stem designs and stuff. Something to do. And then, of course, I have a fair amount of Stanwells that are not Sixten Ivarsson that I bought simply because, maybe they just look gorgeous. Little different design. The next big person after Sixten Ivarsson designing pipes was Tom Eltang. He started out with Stanwell. That's a big number too, big name. So anyhow, I hope you learned a little bit from this. I enjoyed it, knowing again that I had this pipe coming in. That's why this will be now the 4th, Stanwell, Sixten Ivarsson, giving you a little bit of knowledge. So I thank you. I have a squirrel in my chair outside going spazzing on me. Sorry. I just had to try and figure out what he's doing, and he just was a spaz. Maybe it's a part of a mating ritual. Anywho, this is all for now. So I hope you like this. Oh, he's on all of my stuff. Yeah. Hope you liked it. And do like and subscribe. And if you don't like this, remember, you're not going to get to heaven. So may your smoking lamp always be lit. And take care out there.